What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here, and I'm back with some more hero or villain Genesis. And I gotta say, I don't know how far we are in the story. I imagine we are pretty far. Last week, we stopped a robbery. We were working our tail off to keep our boss off our back, and now we're here. So, let's get right into this. You sit on the sofa to rest for a moment and turn on the TV. The news is showing a press conference with MIT's with MIT's Professor, oh boy, I'm going to completely butcher this name. Reverend? The head of the newly created Enhanced Human Genome Institute, EHGI. He is rather young, with his tanned skin concentrating heavily with the complete whiteness of his lab coat. He has an air of confidence around him, somehow putting his points of view across as if he was stating scientific facts. This contrasts heavily with the body language of the reporter, who raises her eyebrows after each reply. Professor Reverend holds the view that it is imperative that enhanced humans should be carefully examined, and that their DNA could hold the secret to improving the human race as a whole. I sincerely doubt that. To do so, he proposes that a register of all known enhanced humans should be set up, requiring them to undergo regular medical examinations and DNA tests. You know what I have to say about that? Not doing it. Mega Puma's not doing it. Calling it. The reporter proceeds to ask him whether this would be legal, as it would essentially infringe the civil liberties of enhanced humans. The professor smiles as if expecting this question. Well, you see, it isn't clear whether enhanced humans or Homo sapiens superior are citizens of this country. Basically, would a Homo Would a Homo neanderthalis, I think that's how you pronounce it, be considered modern human under our Constitution? when our founding fathers wrote it they clearly had in mind that people were Homo sapiens. Hence, Homo sapiens superior are not necessarily citizens of this country, and hence their rights might not be protected by the Constitution. What? Okay, look here, Doctor. I may be an enhanced human, but I'm still human. So your explanation makes no sense. Come up with another one. At this point, the entire press conference explodes into a chaos of shouting journalists, each one trying to pose other question. However, the program then proceeds to move on to the next piece of news, something about Shiriori Yuki rescuing some people inside a building that collapsed after an earthquake in Japan. There is also some minor female superhero who hasn't been seen for a while. Apparently, she often took part in charity and community events and had missed several appointments, disappointing many of her fans. While not powerful, her continuous fighting against drug lords and those that prey on the weak had won her applause from many marginalized sectors of the society. You turn off the TV and look at your watch. It's still early, hence you spend some time to inspect your wounds. You feel how your regeneration powers are healing your body, repairing wounded tissues. You ponder for a few moments what you could do this evening. You might have enough time to investigate more about Mr. Watson, one of the famous crime lords in the city. There are a multitude of crimes committed in the streets during nighttime, and patrolling them can reduce the burden of cops. Captain Velarde might also have something else you could help her with, so it might be worth stopping by the police station. Not far from your apartment there is a darts bar where you could spend a few hours practicing your aim. However, if you are worried about the progress on your layout, you could also stay home and spend some time working on it. Alternatively, you could join one of the many martial arts gyms in the city and try to improve your fighting skills. This could also be a good occasion to see if you can obtain some weapons or gear that could come in handy in a fight. Given that you are injured, it might also be a good idea to go to a hospital and get your injuries treated. However, your health insurance is rather basic, so this could prove to be expensive. Or if you are feeling lucky, you could try to gamble. I can already tell you we're not doing that with some of your money. Finally, you could always stay home and build a new gadget or prototype. Let's patrol the streets of New York again. You once again set out to patrol the streets of New York, dressed in civilian clothes in order to not attract any attention. However, this time you decide to walk along some areas that are wealthier than those you patrolled last time. Sometimes you have helped to deal with the occasional drunkard or with petty thieves who were preying on distract customers. As you are walking along one of the streets, a man abruptly exits a glamorous restaurant, forcibly pushing aside the doorman, who stumbles onto the pavement. The man has an extremely powerful build with dark skin and Ratsa? Wait, Rasta? What's Rasta? Somebody in the comments let me know. And Rasta hair falling onto his shoulders. A waiter dressed in an elegant uniform then runs out of the restaurant shouting, "Stop, sir! You need to pay the bill. You ate $200 of food. That's a lot of freaking food!" The man in Rastas completely ignores the waiter and hurriedly starts to cross the road without paying any attention to the traffic in either direction. A car horn sounds as it narrowly misses him, though another is heading directly for a collision. Noticing the car, the man opens his arms, significantly increasing in size while changing color. His skin is now white, and his face has completely transformed. Gone are the soft features and rounded face, replaced by a triangular. We're dealing with another enhanced human, aren't we? That's the way it sounds, and that, judging by the picture, that's what it looks like. Well, illustration. By a triangular head with pointed rows of teeth and expressionless shark eyes. With one swift movement, he punches the incoming car, sending it tumbling across the street and stopping all other traffic. However, the impact also sends him rolling across the pavement, looking somewhat stunned. He slowly sits back up, with the restaurant staff and other onlookers seeming shocked by what has just happened. Quickly stepping into a little side alley. You put your suit on. As you get out of the alley, the shark-looking creature has just gotten back to his feet. We're still injured, buddy. We're not going to attack him because I'm in the mood for a fight. Let's see. He is clearly a criminal and has to be taken to justice. I'll attack first while he is off guard. This is clearly a very dangerous individual. The most cautious approach is to attack now while I still have the advantage of surprise. Approach him, opening my arms to indicate that I mean no harm. Go toward the waiter and hand him $200 to cover the bill. Actually, on second thought, all this is beneath me. I let him go and return home. I don't think opening... Let's do that one. Worried about your ability to overpower him, you decide to attack quickly while he is off guard. Let's turn into Shadow. Again. You become a shadow, and it is clear that your opponent cannot see where you are. Okay. Let's teleport behind him and punch him. See if that does anything. You teleport behind him and punch him. This takes him completely by surprise, and you land a direct hit on his head. The punch hits him, making him stumble sideways. This allows you enough time to do something else. Wrestle him to the ground and apply a grappling hold to immobilize him. You grab him and try to wrestle him down to the ground. Your fighting ability is clearly superior to his. Although he is a competent fighter, you soon have him on the ground and apply a grappling hold over his arm and head. He starts to try to break free, but your hold over him is too strong. And despite his strength, there seems to be little he can do to break out of your lock. Suddenly, police cars come zigzagging in between the stranded cars, coming to a screeching halt only feet away from you, dozens of police officers get out, surrounding the defeated Sharkman and placing some heavy-duty handcuffs on him. Captain Velarde arrives in her car moments later and swiftly walks toward you. She first looks at the scene and then looks at you. Megapuma, you've done it again. If things go on like this, we'll be running out of villains in the city. Always here to uphold the rule of the law and protect the citizens of the city.
He had a great handle. Your blade took a couple more. They'll have to ask you to please surrender your blade and leave the forge. I am happy to.
Let's go with the first one. Megapuma, I think we can take it from here. You must be tired after this battle. Please rest in case we need you again. With that, you leave the scene as flashes from the newspaper cameras come to illuminate the area. The following day, the office feels rather quiet, and you guess that some of your colleagues might have decided to take a day off and make it a long weekend. However, as soon as you switch on the computer, you find an email from Emily waiting for you in your inbox. The email is short and sharp, demanding to know how you are progressing with your layout. Let's reply immediately, telling her that everything is going okay. You quickly reply to the email informing her that everything is okay and that the layout will be finished on time. There is no reply on your email, so you guess that Emily must be satisfied with your answer and is letting you get on with things. Sometime later, John pokes his head from across the partition next to you. Good day. How are you how are you doing? Any plans for the weekend? I'm off to Jersey right after lunch. Took the rest of the afternoon off. Apparently some great swells coming in. I was trying to finish this layout, but there is something I wanted to ask you. Sounds great. Hope you enjoy the swell. John smiles as you say this, and after a few minutes of talking, he returns to his desk. After grabbing his coat, he wishes you a good weekend and leaves the office. The rest of the afternoon appears to drag on until eventually the time to go home arrives. Only Emily is left in the office behind you, which doesn't surprise you anymore. On the way home, you decide to pass by the supermarket as you are almost out of food. Buy only the very best stuff. let's buy only the cheapest stuff I can find.
There's going to be 3 levels. This is level 1, qualified to compete. Now, each of you is
You go through the supermarket and buy the cheapest products you can find. Once you finish shopping, you head home and sit down to relax a bit. Professor Ruvrand is on the news once more. His comments yesterday about Homo sapiens superior have caused a political storm, and this new term has suddenly gone viral. The news features a short interview with Senator Micken, a thin elderly woman with long silver hair. What Professor Ruvrand says is complete nonsense. There are no Homo sapiens superior. These so-called enhanced humans are Homo sapiens, period. They cannot be treated like guinea pigs, thank you very much. And there is no way that this pathetic enhanced human genome institute is going to stick probes into them. What would this country be like if we allowed such things to happen? We'd be no better than the Nazis.
Shooter left the weapon behind. Custom-made U.S. Survivor sniper rifle. We'll try and run it for prints, but don't hold your breath.
Okay, I would not go that far. The interview continues along these lines for some time, after returning to some other news about the prospect of war between Egypt and Ethiopia. Other than construction of a dam, apparently Egypt feels this could jeopardize its water supply and is threatening an arsenal strike against the dam. Well, aerial strike, excuse me. Okay, that's a pretty cool illustration if I do say so myself. You leave the TV on while you go to the kitchen and prepare something to eat. The news shifts to a recent confrontation in New York between a known hero as Neuron Butterfly and the evil Mad Bulldozer. The brute strength of the Mad Bulldozer was no match for the impressive telekinetic and telepathic powers of the Neuron Butterfly. And the confrontation was relatively one-sided, despite both being classified as Naiku. Once the news bulletin is over, you sit down to eat. At this point, you get a phone call from your mom. It's immediately obvious something is wrong with her, even though she first tells you about some stories regarding the rest of your family. Sensing that there is a problem, you immediately ask her directly if everything is okay. Her voice trembling, she tells you what is troubling her. August, I didn't want to disturb you with my problems, as you always seem to have a lot on your mind, but I was diagnosed with cancer several months ago. Didn't realize the story was going to take a dip in this direction. Okay, go on. The treatment is expensive, very expensive. I've had to take out a few loans and remortgaged the house. Then she starts sobbing and cannot continue talking. The first thing that you think about is whether you could use your regeneration powers to cure her. However, you then remember that she is a different blood group from you, so that is unlikely to work. Wait until she gets herself together and can continue talking. Don't worry, Mom, everything will be okay. I'm going to do the last one. I'm going to guess that she wants me to give her some money for the treatment. Eventually, she manages to regain control of herself and says, "I never wanted to ask you, but do you think you could send me some money? I have to pay the next round of treatment tomorrow, and I don't know who else to turn to." You stop to think for a second before asking how much she needs. I have to pay $2,000 tomorrow. I think the doctor said I'll have to pay some more in a few weeks, but I can't remember. Sorry, I've been so upset. It's okay. I'd send all the money. Your mom still sounds worried. Thanks, August. I know it's a lot of money. I don't know. I'll ask them to defer the payment or try to ask somebody else. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But how will you live? You reassure her that everything is okay and that you have enough food to survive until your next paycheck. She seems somewhat reassured by this. You talk a bit longer with her, asking her more details about the treatment, and eventually say goodbye and send her the money through your online banking account. Okay. Can't you just ask Emily to give you more hours at the office? By the sounds of it, she will probably need more money in a few weeks' time, and this brings you back to the headaches you are having at work. Paying for all this would absolutely be easier if you got a promotion, but given how Emily feels about you, it looks difficult unless, of course, you manage to write an amazing layout. After this, you sit down on the sofa for a while, thinking about the latest news from your mother. Don't hate. It's not complicated. Let's quit that one. Your mother is the most important person to you, and you really hope that she lives. This has really affected you. You continue to sit on the sofa for a while, replaying the memories of your youth until you realize that this is just making you sad. Finally, you decide that it would be better to take your mind off it and do something else this evening. However, before anything else, you take some time to inspect your wounds. You feel how your regeneration powers are healing your body and repairing broken tissue, wounded tissues. There is a variety of possibilities of what you could do with with what is left of your day. The news program you saw earlier with Professor Rovrund could indicate that his Enhanced Human Genome Institute might not be up to any good. Infiltrating their research center could clarify what they are up to, though doing so might be risky. You might have enough time to investigate more about Mr. Watson, one of the famous crime lords in the city. Captain Velarde might also have something else you could help her with, so it might be worth stopping by the police station not far from your apartment. There is a darts bar where you could spend a few hours practicing your aim. However, if you are worried about the progress of your layout, you could also stay home and spend some time working on it. Alternatively, you can... Okay, so it's all the same stuff before. Let's work on the layout. Given that Emily is dissatisfied with your work, you decide that it is probably better to stay in and work on your layout. You boot up your laptop and spend the next few hours making some progress while taking the occasional break to make a cup of tea or coffee. I hate coffee. I'm just gonna say that. In real life, I really do hate coffee. Ugh. I am a tea person though. Eventually, you are satisfied with your progress and decide to call it a night, switching on the TV to distract yourself. The news The news is showing some images of a battle between an Italian superhero known as El Carabinieri Rosario and a group of weak Yonku villains who had been attempting to steal some religious artifacts from the Cathedral of Milan. The battle appears to have gone rather badly for Il Carabinieri Rosario, with the news footage showing him emerging from under the ruins of a building with his elegant uniform in tatters. One of the villains, the Mad Professor, threw a bomb at one of the columns of the cathedral, which collapsed on the superhero despite his bulletproof skin. He was stunned, allowing the robbers to escape. Let's see. What an idiot. Nope. It is interesting. Let's go with the last one. Law always triumphs over evil, and you are sure that El Carabinieri, I completely butcher that name, I'm sorry, Rosario, will eventually recover and bring those criminals to justice. And the news then continues with some other events regarding wars in the Middle East and the effect that this is having on the price of oil. This is then followed by news that the number of electric vehicles being sold is increasing, and the effect that this is having on the price of lithium. Eventually, you grow bored of listening to the news and head to bed after taking a quick shower. at this point you feel that you could play around with somebody's dreams. Clearly manipulating somebody's dreams for no reason isn't very ethical. Thus, you quickly give up on this idea. Okay, guys, I'm stopping it right here. We worked on our layout. We battled a shark man. And unfortunately, our mom has cancer. And then we sent all our money to her. So, I hope you all enjoyed. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Don't forget to like, because it really helps me out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I upload once a day on the usual. And don't forget to make your opinions be known down in the comment section below, because I love hearing from all you beautiful people. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.